Welcome to my channel, Aben Hodel, and yes, I have sold some of my Solana tokens, not all of my Solana tokens, but I have been taking profits. Now I'm going to explain why I've sold some of my tokens and what I think about Solana. I'm also going to go over some analytics, and I did find some very exciting, very bullish analytics on Sol, so let's get into it. So this is not financial advice. Do not take any of my advice and invest accordingly. Do your own research. Okay, so we are in the red today. We're currently at $173 per Sol token. We have a circulating supply of 464 million, total supply of 580 million. Current market cap at 80 billion, a little over 80 billion. Fully diluted market cap is $100 billion. So keep this in mind when you're investing in Solana. Now, let's go to the chart for Solana. And the major reason why I sold some of my Solana tokens or took some profits is just because I believe I'd made too much money from when I'd been buying previously over the last couple of years during the crypto winter. As you can see, I bought at some good points in the $12 range, $15 range. And one of my principles is that if I've 10x'd, I got to take some profits. So that's part of the reason why. But also, if you look at this chart here, we've been bouncing. This is over 6 months here. Past 6 months, we've basically been bouncing between. We have a strong support here at about 121. And it comes up, and we have a resistance in the 180s, 185. Recently, we hit 183. I sold at about 179 or swapped at about 179. I've been swapping about 5 to 10% of my portfolio, so not very much. I'm still bullish on Solana in the long term, but I just think these swings here are too big. It's too much risk, and there's a lot of opportunity to be made when you have volatility of almost 60%. We've come up. Also, if you like this content, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I am going to be giving away 5 Solana tokens to one of my subscribers when I hit 1,000 subs, so go ahead and hit that. Let's keep going. So from here, July 4th, touching at basically 120 to yesterday, July 23rd, 184, which is a lot of opportunity. I took some profits back in May as well, and I picked up some more in this 120 range. Now, the thing is I've just been keeping my eye on this token for a long time. I've been hodling for a long time. I bought back before the last bull market in the $20 range, rode it all the way up to 250 and rode it all the way back down. Now, some people are going to say, oh, you're crazy to be selling Solana at 180. It's going to go to... This analyst thinks Solana is going to go to $1,800, and to me, I think that is definitely fish bait. If you are holding onto your Solana until $1,800, to me, that is just taking way too much risk. There's a possibility sometime in our lifetime, or maybe in the next bull market, maybe in this bull market, but the market cap would be totally insane. I guess that would be almost $1 trillion market cap. Maybe possible, but to me, I'm not holding on until then, because the thing is even though these things might go really high, the reality and the risk is that they most likely will drop by over 90% in the next correction or crash. Basically happened every single time over the last halving cycles over the last 4 years. So to me, I am planning and expecting that a market correction of Bitcoin between the 50 to 70% range is expected. Now, Solana came down over 90%. I experienced it. I held through it from $259, 250 something down to about $8. So the risk with these alts, maybe Solana holds up a little bit better because it is kind of moving into this next echelon level with Ethereum, BTC, and Solana also getting ETF approvals, could keep it maybe from crashing, not 90%, maybe it crashes 70%, 80%, but the risk with these alts is just immense to just hodl and diamond hands them and think I'm going to hold until 1800. And basically what happened last time is when institutions or big players are borrowing against crap, such as last time it was UST. You had a bunch of major players borrowing against UST, borrowing against FTX. Those things are worth essentially nothing. They go to zero, and everybody who gets caught holding the bag also goes to zero. Okay, I went off on a tangent there. Let's get back into what we're looking at here. So basically, yeah, when we hit about this 180 range, we have this strong support here, or we have this strong resistance, 180, 183, 184 to me. So I'm going to take some profits. I'm not going to sell everything. The risk of it going higher is I don't see a huge risk. If it keeps going up, I can keep selling more. If it comes back down, I can look to enter and I can look to pick up some more tokens. So basically either scenario with me is fine, but I don't want to play this game of just holding Solana, not taking any profits, and losing out on potentially a 40% decrease, 50% decrease. I'm also always following what BTC is doing. So if BTC is not at its all-time high, I don't think we're in this place of the next hyper rally. I'm waiting to see, I think everyone's kind of waiting to see BTC break its next all-time high and see how high we go from there. We don't know. Some people are saying 150,000. Some people are saying 250,000. I think getting up to the 100,000, 150,000 range is very realistic. But until we're up there, I don't think that we've really entered the parabolic rally that we could enter. So when we hit these points of resistance, like Solana at 180, I want to take some profits. Okay, so something else that I'm keeping in mind is since the last halving event, the profitability of mining Bitcoin has come down. And to me, what that means is that miners are going to have to shut off machines and mine less because it's too expensive to mine. They're losing money. According to this, Bitcoin needs to be above $80,000 for miners to be profitable. So if miners are not profitable, they'll turn off machines. But eventually I see the supply needs to decrease, or the selling pressure will eventually need to decrease. So according to this article here, it's stating that Bitcoin needs to be above $80,000 for it to be profitable. So until Bitcoin, so I see in this cycle, Bitcoin at least hitting $80,000. If we haven't hit 80,000, I don't think we are through this bull market yet. Okay, so if you look at this chart here, this is on DeFi Llama. This is the Solana total value locked. Currently, we have just over $5 billion in locked value in Solana. We haven't reached our same all-time highs here back in 2021, end of 2021. When Solana hit its peak of total value locked. But we have been growing in total value locked. If the price of Solana tokens goes up, this will increase the price of the value of locked. But this is basically just all the amount that's being held in DeFi on Solana. But I'd say this is bullish. But the most bullish information that I'm seeing, or just most exciting, wild analytics here, is if we look at the transaction count of Solana, we're doing 306 million transactions per day on Solana. That I did not know until this point. That is absolutely wild. Our average transactions per second is 3,000 transactions per second. If you do out that math, it's about 300 million, high 200 and something million transactions per day on this blockchain that Solana is handling right now. That blows everyone out of the water by a long shot. And I want to compare that to Ethereum, because if we're looking to see, is Solana undervalued or is Ethereum overvalued? So Ethereum right now is currently doing 1.1 million transactions per day. Now, I don't believe this is including all of the layer 2s like Arbitrum and Scroll and all these other layer 2s on top of Ethereum that have a ton of transactions. So we do have to think about that as well. But the fact that Solana looks like essentially it's doing 300 times the number of transactions per day, that's 300 million versus 1 million. I mean, it's a large difference, and primarily the cost of transactions on Ethereum is just too expensive. But the TVL of Ethereum is, so if we look at this pie chart here, this is showing us the TVL here. Ethereum is controlling 60% of the total value locked market here, pie. Wow, Scroll here is at 0.77%. That's cool. Solana is only 5%. So even though Solana is doing way more transactions than Ethereum, Ethereum is still holding and has way more value locked on the chain. That's part of the reason why its current valuation is in the, I think it's about 400 billion. And Solana is only 80 billion. But say, could Ethereum get up to $1 trillion market cap? And that would put Solana at about, if we keep the same ratio at this point, what is that? Solana is about a quarter of the value of Ethereum. So that put us at about a $250 billion market cap. So we're maybe looking at like doubling from here, doubling to maybe tripling. But to me, I think we can definitely break all-time highs with Solana. I think getting up into the $400 range would be really great. I'm selling most of my Solana if we get even close to there. I think people who are waiting for 1,000 or 800 will probably get wrecked. And you got to think that when someone is buying Solana at 500, they're buying Solana, or say Solana's 400, they're buying it because they think it's going to be at least 800 probably. I mean, everyone wants to, like, I don't know if taking the risk of buying Solana at $400, if you think it's only going to go to 500 or only going to go up 30%, 40%. I mean, if you want to take that risk, you got to think it's going to at least double. And that's why I think when analysts throw out these crazy numbers like 1,000, I mean, I think 1,800 is crazy. I think 1,000 is maybe possible, but realistically, I think we're looking at getting maybe to 50% of that. And that's kind of what happened in the last cycle. You looked at Bitcoin, everyone was saying 100,000, Bitcoin 100,000, and it got to 60 something thousand, just over half of that. Because those people buying at 60,000 were buying because they thought it was going to go to 100. If you're going to buy Bitcoin at $100,000, you got to be thinking it's going to 200 in this cycle. I think we will pass 200. I think we will see a $1 million BTC in our lifetime. Whether it'll be next cycle or the cycle after that, it's hard to say. I don't think it's going to be this cycle. I'm not going to just hold on to my BTC and think it's going to go to $1 million in this cycle, because there's just way too much. You're leaving way too much money on the table, way too much unrealized gains to ride these things out through the next winter.